Did you go?
Mm-hmm.
Mine still says off air.
Mine says live.
All right, I'll trust you. Here we go.
It says live.
All right.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. I'm USC fan Michael Muto, and I'm here with Notre Dame expert and lifelong fan Greg Flamont. Greg, how you doing?
Doing splendid, sir.
What could make you so happy? I don't know.
My team is 9-0. They have dispatched of Northwestern in fine fashion. I was happy about it, although a lot of people weren't.
It could have been a little better. We'll get to that, but it was fine.
Could've.
It was fine. They covered.
You know what,
you
Michael?
got.
They did cover.
Yeah.
And overall, it was a good game. College football is strange sometimes, and when you fumble a handoff and you get punts blocked, things happen. But
And you still win, though.
The team didn't panic. Brian Kelly didn't panic. They never trailed. They were only tied. Yeah. So it's all good. And I took in the experience at a wedding with Tim texting me, so it's fine.
It's fine. It's all good.
He texted me 7-7 halftime. Like, he texted me like all the stuff, like, oh, they had first and goal at the 5, didn't score, blah. And then he said 7-7 at halftime, and I texted him, these updates are stupid. And then it was 21-7, and then it was 24-7. And I said, these updates are very good. I'm happy now. And then it was 24-21, and I said, your updates got stupid again. And then they won, and I said, okay, good. Now I'm gonna get drunk.
It's time to be happy.
Yeah.
So to start off, when Notre Dame goes to Northwestern, logistical question: how do they get there?
A bus.
A bus? Okay. Because it's kind of far, but not really.
It's probably like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like why would they pay for a plane?
No, I don't know.
They could just charter buses. Yeah, it's fine.
I'm sure they have an endowment that can afford it. I have no doubt about that.
Like 2 hours, nice little nap for the players.
Maybe a train. Chicago has a
Maybe
nice little rail system.
I doubt it, though. They're taking buses.
That'd be super quaint if Notre Dame took a train to Northwestern.
I mean, they'd take a train maybe, but then they'd have to, like, I don't know, do you charter a train?
I don't know. I'm not
you can't have Jerry Tillery sitting on there with like some commuter or whatever.
Just talking about their day.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you going? I'm heading home.
Yeah,
I work in Chicago.
How was the city?
Okay. Yeah. Just going up to city, see some friends.
Oh,
it sounds fantastic.
No,
what
defensive
are you
lineman, Notre Dame.
Yeah. I play football. Oh, yeah?
You a bear?
That's funny. Yeah, they take a bus.
I don't know why. That was the first thing that popped in my head was looking at the game. I was like, I wonder how they get there.
You know what? Those are the type of things you think when Notre Dame takes on Northwestern, Michael.
Right? Well, because I feel like they're both Chicago schools, kind of. Like, I know Notre Dame's in Indiana, but, you fly to Chicago to get there.
Notre Dame is Chicago's team.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I know. That's why I said it.
Yep.
Anyways, let's get back to football action.
Mm-hmm.
The ideas of trains, planes, and automobiles it's fun and all, but I mean, yeah, we said it in the open there that Notre Dame they never trailed. They had some errors, but I mean that's what you like, right? You like to see that they, they don't get gun shy. They're ready to play. They don't get behind. They don't get rattled. Everybody contributes. I mean, Dexter Williams didn't have a great day, but there's enough players out there who play well. Defense is always doing a pretty good job. I mean, Northwestern only scored 21 points. Like, that's pretty good. 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and 7 of that came after a blocked punt at a 15-yard drive. I was very excited. My man Chase Claypool, he had a big game.
Yep.
After I wrote about him like 2 days before. It usually doesn't happen like that, and it's gone the other way for sure.
I mean, you have written about him a lot.
I like I like him, but I was wrong. So like let's see, prior to 2016, I wrote it was the season of Claypool, or maybe it was 2017. One of the years,
I think it was last year.
It was last year. I said it was the season of Claypool, and it wasn't at all. And
you didn't have Ian Book throwing him the ball.
Yeah, I guess not. And so on Thursday, I just felt like of all the players on offense, like they use everyone pretty much the right way, and as much as you should, and they get the most. Excuse me, they get the most out of them. And the only guy that isn't true for is Claypool. And I just thought, it's kind of the last piece. Like they really need to get him going, and then they did. He had a great game. I think he was 8 for 8 on targets, 130 yards, big catches, third down, slant routes, go routes, out routes.
That did it all.
It was the whole route tree, Michael. So thoroughly enjoyed it. And speaking of not getting rattled, I mean, our guy Ian Book, struggles in the first half. Aaron Rodgers in the second half.
Bit hyperbole, but okay.
No. I'm owning it.
Okay.
Superstar second half player, Michael.
I mean, Notre Dame is a second half team, man. They've been doing it all year.
They have been
in the Ian Book era.
Ian Book era. It's honestly, it's like it's 2 seasons.
It seems like so long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes out and he just in the second half of games, he's just locked in.
He feels you out. He sees what you're doing, finds your weaknesses, then bam, exploits them.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That seems to be the book on book. Now I can do better. I'll do better next time.
You know what? It's fine. You're a new father. The book on book. We're gonna let that go.
We're gonna let that go.
We'll let it slide.
I've been trying to get a good pun in there for a while, but
okay.
It's just too easy, so I can't get one going. Okay, so we know Claypool looked good. Ian Book comes through in the second half. They score. How's the defense doing? Who's just the usual yeoman-like work?
So here's what's funny about the game is, full disclosure, as I mentioned before, I was at a wedding and I couldn't watch. So what I did was I got home and I put the game on my computer and I just watched it all the way through.
You didn't DVR it?
Well, I did on my computer. I have YouTube
okay.
TV, Michael. You know that.
Oh, right.
So I can record it and then I can watch it on my computer. So I don't have to. I can just watch it in bed. And so like I look at the stats. And Northwestern has like 249 total yards, which is ridiculous, right? They threw for like 137 on 29 attempts, which is terrible. They had like 120 some odd yards rushing. So you see those numbers and you think, oh, like Notre Dame just swallowed them up. And then I'm watching and it's like, well, they're kind of moving the ball a little bit. Like this running back, I don't know. He's getting some traction on them, and they hit some passes, and they didn't get shut down the way that you would think they did just based on the stats. But then, like obviously, 249 yards. It's not like they were going up and down the field, so they were mostly solid. But it was just shy of what you would consider like completely dominating.
Their leading receiver had 36 yards.
Yeah, like those guys, like they don't, they weren't doing a lot, but it's like I don't know if you should have gave up that route, or I don't know about that run play. Like I just should have bottled that up a little bit better.
But in Notre Dame's defense, I feel like Northwestern's a team that can beat you. Like they're not going to beat all, they're not that good. But
here's the thing.
If you're not paying attention, they could beat you.
Here's the thing. Okay. I happen to think that Michigan State and Wisconsin are bad.
Okay.
But they're bad in the way that, like, they're bad for that school. You know what I mean? Like, right, Wisconsin is bad.
They're supposed to be better.
Yeah, Wisconsin is bad comparatively. Michigan State is bad comparatively. Like Northwestern beat Wisconsin by 14 points. They beat Michigan State by 10 points. Okay, they lost to Michigan by 3 after they were winning 17-0. Okay, like this team can beat you. All right, they have a good defense.
Good coach.
A good coach, and it's like at night, and it's like a big game for them and that sort of thing. So I'm not like, oh, we should be, we should win every game by 58 points. Like, no, like
I mean,
Northwestern is a good team. Okay,
right.
They're not like the great team. I don't think they should be ranked or anything, but they're the type of team if you play bad, then you could lose. And Notre Dame goes up 24-7. They gave up a goofball drive, which is kind of like, they put in a bunch of backups. Like Jerry Tillery didn't play that much in this game. Drew Tranquil was only playing on like third downs. So, it's like the secondary was weird. Like they didn't know who was playing nickel. Like first it was Julian Love, and then it was, Dante Vaughn would come in, and then they would leave in Asmar Bilal to do it. Like they could just never. Then it was Houston Griffith. You just could never really figure it out. Like no one really played great on defense, with the exception of Tavon Coney, who was a monster. But it's one of those games where it's like, yeah, like we're not playing great, but they have 250 yards, and I guess that's kind of like what the standard is now, and I'm here for it. I'm here to be disappointed with them giving up 250 yards on defense.
Should be less.
Yeah.
No sustained drives.
So, it's fine. Like, there's so much to like about it. And there's a few things that I don't like. Like, obviously, the special teams. Like, Jesus. I don't really understand, like people talk about, how they don't spend enough time on it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
this is a common USC. Well, I guess
it's everyone.
They spend too much time.
Anyone who is doing poorly on special teams, what do you say? They don't spend enough time on it, right? But what does that have to do with the kicker in Game 9 not being able to kick the ball on the field? I don't understand.
Do you think that would have been worked out by now?
I don't understand how they ever – and look, they want him to angle the kick, right? Because apparently we can't – if we kick the ball down the middle, then it's going to be returned for a touchdown, and that's just the way it goes. Like, I don't know about you, Michael, but when I was growing up, there weren't angle kicks. There weren't we want to kick it up high.
Kick off coverage.
Yeah, it was just you kicked it, and you covered the kick, and that's it. And now it's like, no, if it's not high enough and if it's not on the left hash mark, then unfortunately it's probably going to be returned for a touchdown. And it's the kicker's fault if he doesn't put it in this 20 by 20 foot box. So he's trying to do that. So what does he do? He hooks it out of bounds,
which is almost as bad.
Yeah, we've got illegal procedure penalties on kickoffs. We don't have enough people lined up on one side or whatever it is, which is like they don't know how to line up. Again, it's week 9. Like they score lots of points. They kick off all the time.
Maybe they're trying new guys out there.
Yeah, we don't know how to line up. I mean, is that too difficult?
Teams.
The kid, they blocked the punt in a way that makes me think, like, I don't understand how every punt isn't blocked, actually.
I think that a lot, actually.
They just did it. Like, the kid just walked through.
So they have like the 3 guys in front who aren't really trying. And
it's like they're not really paying attention to the guy coming through the side. Like, the guys on the line have, like, 5-yard splits.
Yeah.
So the one guy just stands in between the 2 players and just runs straight through and blocks it. It's like, I don't know. It's like, okay.
I also don't know why that doesn't happen more often.
So, like, that's weird. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know how much time you need to spend to teach guys where to stand, to kick the ball on the field, and just, like, you've been punting now for 9 weeks.
Well, I mean, you know what they're working on. They're working on, like, trick plays and pass backs to up backs and, onside kicks and goofy stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why this stuff goes to the wayside. I have no proof of that, but no one cares about. That's the sign of a good coach, right? Like your guys aren't going to care about lining up for kickoff coverage in week 10. Like that's boring. We've been doing this for months now, coach. I'm over this.
And that's the other thing about like putting starters on special teams. Because
are you pro or con? Starters
it's pro because you want your best guys out there. It's con because those guys are often like, you know what? I don't really feel like running down on kickoff.
Yeah.
It's not very fun.
I do a lot of running. This isn't the one time where I'm going to
I don't want to run down on kickoff. It's not fun for me.
It hurts too. Like being on kickoff coverage is not fun. Special teams are for crazy people.
Let me tell you something, Michael. I did not like it.
No.
I was on kickoff team a few times. Don't like it. I'd rather be on kickoff return. I'd rather receive the ball. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that was the biggest negative from the game. Just our continued futility in the special teams.
It's nice to get that out of the way in a win, as opposed to that being the reason the team loses.
The problem is it's like this is 3 touchdowns now. You gave up 2 kickoff return touchdowns, and then you get the punt blocked, which is to the 15, and then they score a touchdown.
True.
That needs to stop happening. The other thing that concerned me from the game is I don't like it that teams seem to be able to just put players in the box, and it's like they keep us from running.
Like there should be more scheming involved in stopping the Notre Dame running game.
It's not that it's more. I guess so. I just feel like Notre Dame should be able to say, okay, they're putting people in the box here. We counter by running it this way. Right. We're going to run it here. Or we're going to use these run plays to gash them while they're committing these people. Like
the most obvious way to stop the run shouldn't work so well.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're just going to put someone extra in the box. Because you know what? Teams run with outnumbered in the box all the time.
Yeah.
Like teams do it. So it's like I don't like that it's that simple, and I don't like that. Well, I do like that they keep trying to run the ball. Like they will run it when they're outnumbered, and they won't get very many yards, but at least they continue to do it.
Now Brian Kelly seems like the type of guy who saves the good plays. Like he's not once he thinks like the game's in hand, he's not wasting the good plays.
I'm going to say something. That's a pretty good observation, Michael. I think that's correct. Yes, I do think so. I think
he's just trying to end this thing. Like
I think it's systemic with them. Like, and that's a real thing. Like, this is going to sound stupid, like on a completely different level, but we would play like later in life. We would play flag football out here in like these big leagues or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we'd be up against the guy when it's like, sometimes in flag, it's like you don't have plays. It's like, just get open. And you're going up, and I will be going up as the guy. It's like, I know I can beat him. Like, I know I can just take him deep. But like, you don't. You save it, right? To like a moment where it's like, okay, this seems like a good time where we're going to actually go do it. And sometimes you beat them well enough to it's like, actually, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm just not going to do it today.
We're saving this move.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think Notre Dame is like that to some extent because I was complaining that they didn't do it against Navy. And I was sitting there in the stands and being like, I don't understand why they don't take shots deep. Like, they have these matchups with these two guys. They clearly can't cover them. So why aren't they taking shots? And they didn't, and they scored 44 points. They didn't need to do it.
Now, the concern is, can you do it when it counts? Like, there's a double. It's the other side of the coin. It's,
right.
Okay, well, we're not doing this now because we don't need to. We're playing conservative. It's working. We're fine. But then, do you get too complacent? That's being a coach is hard. It's just like a fine line.
It's very hard. It is very hard. And luckily, they did hit a deep ball to Michael Young in this game. They hit a 50-yard bomb to go up 21-7. They hit Claypool on a 30-yard gain. when Notre Dame was backed up, and then like 3-4 plays later, they hit Young on the long pass. So they did do it. They pulled it out, and I mean, the situation when they decided to do it, they had put the safety in a really bad spot. Young had like a 12-yard head start on him, and then it's like the guy was in no man's land. So Young gave him a little corner to the post. Safety was completely turned around. He was nowhere. So,
just how we drew it up.
Just how they drew it up. And they picked their shot, and they took it, and it worked. So, can't complain about that.
So let me ask the $64,000 question, which is a very dated reference. But can this team beat Alabama?
At what?
Football.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. There's 3 games left in the season. Coming down to it.
I mean, the thing is, well, luckily, and Tim and I were talking about this today, like, what you really want is for Bama or Clemson to finish 1-4.
So then they play each other.
Then they have to play each other because you can't beat. Maybe you can beat one of them, but you can't beat both of them in consecutive weeks.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
So, you got to get a little bit lucky there. The thing about Bama and Clemson is Clemson to me is what Notre Dame is, just a little bit better.
Okay, I can see that. I'm not a big Clemson guy.
Yeah, they do the same kind of stuff. It's just they do it a little bit better with a little bit better players. That's all it is. And Bama is like they do what Notre Dame does with a lot better players.
They just do everything better.
It's just different. Like else. Honestly, it's like a different. They're playing. They almost play at a different level just because. Like Notre Dame has kids like when they talk about like it's midterms, like they really have midterms. Like these Notre Dame players, like they graduate in like 3.5 years.
Dare you say education's not important in the state of Alabama?
In the state of Alabama? I can't speak for the state, but for those guys playing football, like they don't all graduate in 3.5. Like it's not mandated.
No, it's not.
Like Tavon Coney is gonna graduate, like at the end of this semester.
He probably already has, hasn't he? I mean,
Tranquil has.
He's been there forever. Yeah.
Tranquil has. Tillery's gonna graduate. Coney's gonna graduate. Like their best players are true seniors, and they're gonna graduate in December. It just doesn't, it's not happening at other places. I mean, Alabama has facilities that are probably better than some NFL teams.
That's probably true.
I mean, look at the Chargers.
Jesus. They don't even have facilities.
Right. Exactly. They play in a soccer stadium.
And practice in Costa Mesa.
Right. So, Alabama is just, I don't know, man. I mean, puncher's chance and everything, I guess. But the puncher in that game is Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't, I mean, it's kind of like, like I was seeing today, like if they were to play, I think they would be like 20-point underdogs.
I mean, LSU didn't score a touchdown.
I mean, 20 points. Exactly. And Alabama didn't even play well.
Yeah.
Alabama didn't play well. They won by 29. Ugh. I mean, they're just different, They're on a different level. So.
Well, next week, Florida State. Can Florida State trip up Notre Dame? Or is Florida State just too much of a disaster?
They could. They could. And I'll tell you why they could, Michael. They are bad because of dysfunction and because they have a bad offensive line. So the first one can be overcome. The second one cannot, like generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like Notre Dame in 2016. They were 4-8, right? Everyone makes fun of them. Oh, Notre Dame's 4-8. They're terrible. They were leading at halftime, 10-0 against Stanford. lost. They were up in the third quarter 24-7 against Virginia Tech, who was good, and they lost. They beat 8-4 Miami in a game that they led like 20 to nothing, and they ended up having to come back and win because Miami came all the way back and took the lead. I think that USC game, Notre Dame was close in the third quarter, and then they threw a pick six, and then there was a fumble or a kickoff return or whatever. Notre Dame was close in that game. The point I'm making is not that Notre Dame was terrible. It was just kind of like a dysfunctional year.
Like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Right. And they lost most of those times, but they also won against Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is Florida State bad because they have bad players? That's not why they're bad. They're bad because they're dysfunctional. They have bad coaches. They have a bad program right now. But sometimes bad players and bad coaches, they have a good night.
Yeah, I mean they're a top class program generally.
That being said, it's supposed to snow.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
I mean, it's going to be like 20 degrees at the game. And that's not good for Florida State in November, my friend.
No, that's not. I believe Las Vegas has this as a 20-point spread at the moment. Seems a hair high. But...
I mean, if Notre Dame comes out and goes down the field and scores a touchdown, that's okay.
This thing's over.
Can we get back in the bus and go home? This is ridiculous. So it could happen. It probably won't. But I don't know, man. It's Florida State. It's a name program.
There's some demons there.
Yes, there are. I mean, some, right?
Yeah.
The last time, the 2014 game that made me very sad.
Oh, it was a good one.
Ugh, that hurt my feelings, Michael. Elaine was born 2 days prior to that, or 1 day prior.
I was going to say that was season 1 of this podcast, I believe.
Yeah, we were in the hospital watching that game. In between feedings, Elaine was in the NICU, and Amy and I were in the hospital room watching. And I thought it was like a sign from God that they were going to win the game because our daughter was born on this hallowed day, and then not.
And then a nice little push off. No, it was one of those rubber out penalties.
How dare you, Michael?
They don't call anymore.
How dare you, Michael? No, they only call it on Notre Dame. Notre Dame got hit with some trash pass interference. I'm going to tell you something else, Michael, now that we're on this conversation about the officials. Look, all right, I'm not the refs are terrible, just generally speaking.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, that's fair. We all can agree on that.
If I'm Brian Kelly, after the game, I'm going up to those guys. I'm just saying, hey, just so you know, they didn't have any penalties in this game. You called none. Now, there were probably around 150 plays run, and you called them for they were flagged for one penalty at the end of half, 0 seconds, for holding one of our defensive linemen as the guy's getting sacked. So it's you called an inconsequential penalty on an inconsequential play. And in the other 149 plays, they didn't do anything wrong according to you guys. Now tell me how that's possible.
Impossible.
I actually want you to come to our locker room and apologize to my players because this is ridiculous. They got hit for another offensive pass interference. We got Chase Claypool running down the field on a post route, getting hung on by this guy. We can't get a call. It's incidental contact. I'm just sick of it.
The refs don't like Notre Dame.
I don't know what it is, Michael.
Are these ACC officials or these Big Ten officials?
Doesn't
and
that's
matter.
the problem. That's the problem, Michael, with not being in a conference, unfortunately, because you're getting screwed either way. You're not really an official member of the ACC, but you still get their crappy refs. And then you're not a member of the Big Ten, obviously, and you get their little what have you situation. So, that's just the way it goes, I guess. 0 penalties.
0 penalties. That's good.
It's ridiculous.
It's a theme, It's been happening all season. Why would it stop now?
That's true.
Now, do you think, because the refs must meet, right? And it has to come up that, hey, Notre Dame is not getting penalties against them or for them. I don't know the phrasing there.
Yeah.
And do you think just because they talk about it, it doesn't happen? Because the refs are actively trying not to, it's like, oh, well, we don't want to just call penalties. We can't make it look like we're trying to favor them now. It's just like this self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's possible. I mean, I think that it's just like for some reason with Notre Dame, it's just like if the call could go in favor of the opponent, then if you call it straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on the pass interference with Boykin, like, okay, he pushes him, right? And that's fine. They didn't throw him the ball, and the guy he pushed ran into the defender who was covering the guy who caught the ball. But the two players run into each other. Like, that's our guy's fault. Like, he is jamming him. It's not like he wasn't. He's jamming him. So, but you want to call it? Okay, letter of the law. It's a pass interference, right? But then when Claypool's running down the field and he's got a guy hanging on his back, oh, that's incidental contact. They're competing. It's like, okay, so we're letting them play on the one end. On the other end, no, that's 15 yards. I'm sorry. And that's how it is, right? Like, there's things you just let go as incidental. And
it's because they're good is part of the problem.
What do I always say, Michael? They ref towards a close game.
Yeah.
I always say it. And I just don't speaking of them getting together and talking, what do they say to each other after the game? And they're like,
Great
hey,
job.
we didn't
Great
Northwestern didn't have any penalties.
Played a clean one.
Yeah, what do they say? It's like, well, I can only call what I see, and I don't see it. You have to know, we missed some stuff. Notre Dame has 8, they have none.
Ridiculous. All right. Any other Notre Dame news and notes? What do you think? They'll be number 3, right? Is that?
They will be number 3. And I'm going to tell you something else, Michael. Everyone, these guys, these pundit sports writers who are just pumping up Michigan like they're the greatest team that's ever happened. They can't wait to put Michigan ahead of Notre Dame.
They cannot.
It's unbelievable. There's 2 data points, as if Notre Dame needed one beyond the fact that they won in the frickin' game. The 2 teams play each other, and Notre Dame wins. And it's like, yeah, but the eye test, I don't know. Did you see the total yards? It's actually they were kind of even, and then so you have that, and then Michigan played Northwestern on the road. They were losing 17-0. They come back and won. It's 20-17. Notre Dame never trails, is up by multiple scores for a lot of the second half, ends up winning by 10. And it's like, well, Michigan, they just look so good.
Michigan
so good against Penn State. I mean, they
Harbaugh.
look so good.
I mean, yeah.
They just look so good. I mean, I just don't, Notre Dame beat them, and that's fine, but Michigan, they just look so good.
It's going to happen, right?
It's the eye test, Michael. I just can't. It's the eye test. I mean, they just look so good.
Just look so good.
Just class. Such a great
class
team.
of college football.
So great. And the thing is this Dan Wolken guy from USA Today or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna tell you, if you put the 2 teams on a neutral field, I'm gonna pick Michigan to beat them, and that's how I feel about it. It's like, all right, that's fine, And it's because Michigan's playing so much better now. It's like Michigan has the same freaking team they had when they played in September. But you know who doesn't have the same team as when they played in September? Notre Dame doesn't, because they added the most accurate quarterback in college football and a running back who's averaging 6 yards a carry.
Seems like an upgrade.
Notre Dame played that game with a former receiver as the starting running back and a former quarterback as their third-team running back, all of whom had multiple touches in that
Who no
game.
longer star in the offense.
Well, Armstrong does. Avery
That's true.
Davis didn't play, and Brandon Wimbush doesn't play. One team added the most accurate quarterback in college football.
Seems like an advantage.
And Dexter Williams. So, Michigan, they're so much better. They're just playing so much better. It's like, you know why they're playing so much better? Because they're not playing Notre Dame every week. That's why. Because they're not playing a team that's better than them. Very upset, Michael.
Very upsetting. I'm sorry. You have to deal with this.
All right, we can move on.
All right. Well, we'll move on to a team that will not be in the college football rankings, even though they won last week. The USC
Inching
Trojans.
closer to bowl eligibility, Michael.
Ever so close. The USC Trojans. It was the debut of Clay Helton as the official play caller.
Rallied the troops.
They circled the wagons up in Corvallis and ran all over the terrible Oregon State defense. Got a win. I mean, you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. So they got that going for them, which is nice. But I don't know. I feel like this is the second time this has happened this season. There's always just flashes of, oh, okay, they got it together. Like, what was it, Arizona? I think they were running the ball pretty well for a while. And then, whoop, it all just came crashing back down to earth. It's like reverse Brian Kelly. It's like Brian Kelly doesn't waste the good plays. Mm-hmm. Clay Helton's like, oh, when can we get to the good plays? Like, I can't wait to run some stupid stuff.
Spends his powder, Michael.
Yeah. So I'm sure it took everything he had, to not go pistol the whole night. And even though receivers are getting hurt and running backs are getting hurt, and just try to throw the ball and have no offensive rhythm. I'm sure it took everything he had to play a conservative, boring game. And then next week, I have a hunch that the regular offense will be back.
I do appreciate him firing T. Martin or demoting him or whatever you want to call
demoted.
it.
He was still there. He's still the best
I do
receivers coach in
appreciate
the
him
nation.
demoting T. Martin, like just as the cupcakes come up.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to call plays against Oregon State, Cal, and UCLA. That's what I want. T. Martin can call the plays against Utah.
Yeah, figure that out, T. You go to play Texas.
Yeah, what a joker.
No, he's not setting himself up for success there.
Well, Michael, wasn't there a situation where it was 28-21?
There was.
And USC fumbled, and Oregon State is running it into the end zone, but they blew it dead. Is that a thing that happened?
Sometimes the breaks go in your favor.
So it is a thing that happened.
I'm not here to chastise referees this time.
Okay.
But it's just it got a little closer. Yeah, it's another thing. Everyone's happy because they won, and they were up by like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And suddenly Oregon State's back in this stupid game, and then any dumb thing could happen, and Oregon State can win. Oregon State's terrible. Okay, that's what it shouldn't even be this close. Oregon State's one of the worst teams in college football. You shouldn't take lucky plays or
referee error,
or the best game of Aka Cedric-Ware's career to beat Oregon State. They're one of the worst teams in college football. Like, their defense is just hot trash, and their offense looked amazing, right? Or not amazing, but super competent when they're they can run the ball, but they're throwing the ball. The DBs look terrible. Isaiah Langley, much maligned for a reason. That's another thing. I don't understand how, poor kid, he's doing the best he can, but that's it. That's all USC has to offer at cornerback is Isaiah Langley.
Greg Johnson hurt?
Yeah, I think he's hurt.
Got it.
And there's another freshman who's hurt. But still, those are freshmen. Like, there's no like sophomore hanging. I mean, Isaiah Langley was bad last year. Like, this was a problem. This was a problem last year that should have been addressed. He was the nickel back. Well, no, I guess not. He was the fourth corner. And guys get hurt, guys get tired. You see multiple wide receiver sets, and he was a problem last year. You knew Jack Jones got arrested. You knew Amon Marshall's Amon Marshall, and Genie Harris, and then you're just hoping a freshman's good. Like, that's a bit of a stretch. Like, you knew this guy was going to play major minutes, and that's a problem because he's not. He's not that good. Like, sorry, I don't like to come on here and just specifically bash people, but like, he's okay. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he's a fine athlete, and he's probably faster than me. I mean, no doubt about that.
Probably. That's funny.
But look, he's just not getting it done at cornerback, and then they have to move a Genie Harris to safety. Who he's lost at best. Like, people are just running wide open on him. You know why? Because he's not a safety. I think USC had 2 scholarship safeties on Saturday. Like what? I know one of them got kicked off the team earlier in the season. One guy transferred. Like, that wasn't the idea going into the season. But it's just, what's going on here, man? A defensive back decommitted 2 weeks ago. Like, that's not great.
Not going to help.
The USC defensive backfield's in shambles. And I always felt like they were one of the strengths of the team. They had oh no.
Marvell
Jackson. They had Dory Jackson. They have Marvell Tell.
They have Jack Jones.
Amon Marshall. They have Jack Jones. They have I think there's another safety. They always had like a competent safety. Jonathan Lockett. I think he's still on the team. But they always had just guys back there who could play. And now they don't have any guys, let alone guys who can play. Blows my mind.
I'm just looking at Oregon State's S&P stuff.
Oh, God.
Their S&P ranking is 120.
Out of, like, what is it, like 132 or something?
I think it's 128, actually. Their defensive S&P is 128. Their special teams rank is 110. So this post-game win expectancy stuff that they have on that site?
Kind of.
So it basically means, like, you take the stats from the game, you plug them in, and it's like the team with, it tells you like what percentage chance the team with those stats usually wins the game.
Okay.
Basically, how the stats go. Or Oregon State finished with a 1% post-game win expectancy against USC. The funny thing that I'm noticing is they have a 15% win expectancy the previous week against Colorado, a game in which they won 41-34. I've never seen that.
Huh.
I mean, 15% of the time the team with those stats wins. That's incredible.
That was one of those times.
Never seen it. Maybe it does go up to 130 because their rushing S&P Plus score is 130.
There you go. Even worse.
So makes sense.
I'll get Sedgwick for that.
Makes sense.
Who? He didn't have a carry against Arizona State? Is that correct?
They were saving him.
They were saving him. Yeah.
They were saving him, Michael. They knew he had a big game coming up.
He called out Clay Helton after the Texas game and hasn't been the same since. There was a nice little story about how the seniors wanted to practice in pads. It's just disheartening.
I saw that. And I was going to say, they do not want to practice in pads. I'm going to tell you that right now.
They do not. Especially I feel like that's like a young man's game. Like, if you're doing this for years,
yeah,
you're over it at this. Like, Marvell Tell does not want to practice in pads. Cam Smith does not want to practice in pads. He had a big play, by the way. He's back from the hamstring injury.
Cam Smith?
Yeah, he had like a chase down tackle.
Look at him coming out.
Well, he's a quality player.
Let me ask you this, Michael.
All right.
What do you think of the three phases? Offense, defense, and special teams. What do you think USC's highest ranking is on S&P?
Ooh.
Like which not the you don't have to give me the rank, but what do you think
Right.
what unit do you think is best?
We can't. It's got to be the defense, right?
So their overall S&P ranking is 43.
Not bad.
Their defensive S&P ranking is 43. It is not the defense.
Oh. Don't tell me it's special teams. It'll just ruin my day.
It is special teams. It's the offense and defense are both ranked 43, which is funny.
Very consistent.
And the special teams is 33.
I just don't know how that could be.
33, Michael.
I guess they returned a punt for a touchdown. But they had a punt return. I feel like a punt returned on them at least once, right? A couple kickoff returns, I think.
They're ranked 21 in kick return efficiency.
Great.
They are ranked 31st in field goal value. They're 105th in punt efficiency. So
is that punt coverage or punting?
It's just punting. Okay. Like when you're punting, how does it go?
All right. Yeah, that goes bad all the time. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Not great at punting.
No.
I would have never guessed that. I mean, I knew that was the answer when you asked the question, but
because why would I ask it?
Why would you ask the question? Yeah. In the losses, I will say this: in the losses, I guess they gave up that punt return against Arizona State, but in the other losses, I feel like USC special teams have been okay. Oh, just okay. I haven't even talked about JT Daniels yet, who doesn't even have 10 touchdowns on the season, so that's neat. Michael Pittman got hurt.
He did.
Stephen Carr got hurt.
Stephen Carr is his
but he
ankle,
get the
right?
Ball, so it doesn't even matter.
He got his ankle rolled up on.
Yeah,
and
so
then Michael Pittman's shoulder. Something's wrong with the shoulder. I guess he has fluid in it. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. He's like their best player. However, though, freshman Devin Williams had a huge game. He was someone I highlighted in the season preview. So he's like a Michael Pittman Jr. kind of guy. Well, that's funny. I didn't even mean that. he's a big receiver who can go up and get the ball. Like a la Michael Pittman.
They really need to throw it to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I don't know what's going on there either. Like that, this kid comes on fire. Like the first 2-3 games of the season, and just can't get the ball. And I can't believe that it's the stellar defenses of the Pac-12.
I mean, so you've got Tyler Vaughns with a 54% catch rate. Michael Pittman with a 47% catch rate. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 68% catch rate. The marginal efficiency, which is basically like how good are you? Like how positive are you on the plays that are gone to you, right? So what are you getting? Like targets to catches to success, basically. Think of it as success rate. When they throw you the ball, is the team successful? Tyler Vaughns is 3.2. Michael Pittman is 3.1. Amon-Ra is 12.3. I mean, he's their best receiver.
He is, by far.
He's their best receiver. And it's not even really close. I mean, Velus Jones actually has a very high catch rate. And
I feel like he just gets bombs, though.
He's just behind Amon-Ra in marginal efficiency at 10.3.
I feel like his stats are a little juiced.
He's got he only has 22 targets. And the rest of these guys are in the high 50s, high 60s.
Yeah, I feel like Velus Jones just gets deep balls and then swing passes.
It's just incredible, this kid. I mean, I'm telling you right now, he's going to kill Notre Dame.
No,
He's going to kill them.
They're terrible. They're terrible, Greg. That's the problem.
I know, but it's
who's
like
going to put him in a position to kill Notre Dame? You find me the coach who's going to do that.
Clay Helton is going to do it. He's going to be he's going to be mad about EQ. He's going to throw him the ball 17 times and then catch 15 of them for like 700 yards. Very upset.
I highly doubt that will
It's going to be so depressing, Michael.
I mean, Jack Sears isn't going to start at quarterback, so they're locked in at like 1 touchdown and 220 yards.
It's true.
So you just got to hope that Vivek Malapia doesn't get going. That's what Notre Dame has to worry about.
I mean, I do worry about it, to be honest with you.
Him getting his touchdowns, not likely. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. It's Oregon State. It was a road win, so that's good. They covered. I got that wrong.
That's where they got Cal.
They got Cal coming to the Coliseum this week. It's homecoming.
Oh,
a nice little late night homecoming. I think the game's at 7. So that's how you know USC is bad. USC is a 5-point favorite. Justin Wilcox, Cal head coach, former USC defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah,
pre-Clancy. 7:30 start time for homecoming. Look, I don't know.
See.
They're probably gonna win. Sometimes Cal looks good. Sometimes Cal looks terrible. So, like Cal lost to UCLA, only scored a touchdown. So
S&P gives them a 68% win probability, a projected margin of 8.4 points.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
See, I'm doing this thing as a USC fan. I was thinking about it on Monday or Sunday, whatever. And I should have known that they were going to beat Oregon State big. But I just come in so hot on the negative side. I'm just like, these guys are probably not even going to make it off the plane without hurting themselves. And then, or I'm just the other way. Just, I mean, Tyler Vaughn, JT Daniels, Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who can stop them? No one can stop USC. And I just can't find the happy middle, Greg, this season.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
So let's see. Cal, their offense is 116th. Their defense is 19th.
That's good. That could be a problem.
Yeah. Cal turns the ball over a lot. Their turnover margin is -6. That's no good. That's stinky.
Yeah, no, they're not great. They beat BYU. They beat North Carolina. They have one other pretty good win. I can't think of who it is. But, I mean, it's the Pac-12, man. Pac-12 sucks.
They beat Washington.
There you go.
12-10.
Woo, barn burner. How mad is Washington State right now that they got jobbed out against USC?
Well, here's the thing about that, Michael. This is just referring to the targeting, right?
Yes, this is the final drive of the game.
So the thing about that is it would have been a first down, and Porter Gustin would have been ejected. But they gave up 39 points.
Right. I mean,
so it's like you could say you got jobbed, but like you're giving up 40 points, and like you still have to score.
Sure.
Like you were still losing. It's not like
it was a terrible drive.
Yeah, like
if you watched it,
right, like we watched it happen. Like they did it to themselves. They could have played better. They had the ball with a chance to win, and they ran the ball twice and tried to kick a 40-yard field goal, and they got blocked. Like that's their own fault. Like they could have called a penalty, but at the same time, like you also could have just played and gotten a first down.
That's true.
Like job schmobbed. You know what I mean?
But it's a marquee win for you.
Make a play, bro.
That's great.
Make a play.
That's good. I believe the South, the Pac-12 South, has many possibilities.
Still up in the air, Michael.
Still up in the air.
I mean, you got Utah.
Which I mean, nothing would make me I guess happy. I mean, right? I want USC to play in Pac-12 title games and go to Rose Bowls. So, so if they could, if they backdoor their way into a Pac-12 title game.
I will note that Oregon State, they did go to Oregon State and win 49-7. So, a like opponent, a common opponent, if you will.
It's just not good, man. It's just nothing's good. Even when it's good, it's not good. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to be excited about. It's just a waste. Everything's a waste.
How long has it been since Clay Helton called plays?
Allegedly?
Yeah.
I mean, allegedly he never stopped. But so T Martin was in charge all of this year. There was a committee of the Helton brothers and T Martin last year. And I guess so the year before. I'm not sure who the play caller was the year before.
I just wonder if you lose your edge after a while.
I mean, I imagine Clay Helton lost his edge like years ago. Was there ever an edge? Well, that's the thing. This is like some of the hot takes I've seen. Is like he's the head coach. Like if he wants to run a play, he can run a play. If he wants, that the USC to be a running team, he could just tell them to be a running team.
Right.
Like it's the way they talk about. Oh yeah, now that I'm calling the plays, we can do it this way. It's like, hey, you were still in charge. Like,
well, not only that. I think
you know the offense. You know what they can
so
do.
Much is like play calling. Yeah, that's one thing, but like you can set up the game plan.
Yeah, that's your job.
The game plan is more important than the actual plays.
Like he has to listen to you.
The plays based on the game plan.
Yeah. Like if you go into a Monday morning meeting and he's like, hey Chi, this week we want to run the ball, and then he goes out and passes 60 times. Like, well, you probably should fire him, right? Like, that's just not how it works. But that's not what was happening. I'm sure everyone was on the same page, or maybe he was just super hands off. I don't know what he was doing if he was so hands off. It's just wild. I can't wait to see where T Martin goes next year and wins a national title. I mean, it'd be so great if Nick Saban hired him. It would just be the sickest bird to just take like all the SC cast-offs and just go to national title games, just to be consistent. And then not hire Clay Helton when he eventually gets fired.
That's funny.
Right?
Of course. Yeah. Of course. No, I'm okay. I'm all set.
It's like, but you hire USC guys? Nah, just some of them.
He's like, not all of them.
I mean, Sarkisian, he was fine. I mean, he only got fired for some substance issues. Whatever. Yeah. Kiffin's an asshole that nobody likes. Whatever.
Right.
You go back to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm not here for these player coaches.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got for USC. I wish I had more. I wish there was more positive news or more negative news. I don't know. I'm just stuck in the middle, man, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't know if JT Daniels is good or not. I still believe.
Honestly, man,
it's just a loss. It's just a waste. It's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, it's a weird season. He's not playing that well right now, but
none of them are.
He's got to get stronger. He's got to get a better line.
Well, he's supposed to be in high school right now. Have you heard that?
Is he really?
Yeah, I don't know if they popularized that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they got to coach up the offensive line. They got to get some kind of scheme going. They're gonna go to the Sun Bowl. They're gonna lose, and it's gonna be miserable.
I don't know. I don't think it would be that miserable, Michael.
All right. So this is speaking of USC. This is the last game that doesn't matter regardless, because then you go into rivalries. You got UCLA and Notre Dame. So those are important. regardless of USC's record. So we'll see how the team rallies around that.
Well, I'll be seeing if Michael Pittman and Stephen Carr, how healthy they are.
Not worried about Stephen Carr because whoever's calling the plays can't seem to get him involved anyways.
That's true.
So might as well have him healthy for next year. Just start rehabbing now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dexter Williams has more touches. He didn't play in the first 4 games.
Yeah. Well, Kelton wasn't in charge. He wasn't calling the plays. How could he get Stephen Carr involved?
Jesus.
There's no game plan for that.
Stephen Carr, 8 catches for 26 yards. That's an embarrassment.
This guy was a monster last year.
That is an affront.
This guy comes on as an 18-year-old freshman and just scorches Stanford. Just destroys teams. Now he can barely get any touches. Get out of here.
4.7 a carry. Yuck.
Get out of here.
You know what his marginal efficiency is carrying?
-1.
-10. My God.
That's Akacentric Ware territory.
That's insane. No, Akacentric Ware is at 10.7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he had the big game. He's had 2 big games, right? And then the games where he doesn't play. So it's not like he does bad. He just does good and does nothing.
What's Dexter's? Let's see. Oh,
his has to be fantastic.
5. Yikes.
What is it?
Yeah. Notre Dame doesn't have a running back in the positive.
That's not good.
In related news, Notre Dame's running game is kind of 79th. Woof.
That's not good.
Woof. Their offensive line's pretty poor, Michael.
Oh, people are hurt.
That's true.
All right, let's get out of here. I got no other USC news. Follow Greg on Twitter, Greg2126, UHND.com. New articles all the time. Tilting Ground on Twitter. Tilting Ground, follow us. Write reviews of the podcast. There's new ones up every week. And we will be back next week. Fight on.
Go Irish.
All right.